Oh, hi, everyone. I'm Grimmer the Reaper, but I go by Grimm.
And I'm Shigaria, but I go by Sugar.
Yes. We are your hosts of this weeb-based podcast, Ohayo Waifu, where we talk about everything and anything related to anime and manga. This podcast is not currently sponsored, but hello, everyone, and welcome. It's exciting.
It is exciting. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. Oh
I know, it's been like...
happy to be back.
It's good to be back. You know, we how long has it been? It's been at least a year, at least.
Yeah, I think something like that. Like about a year.
So we're just gonna quickly do a couple updates of what's going on with this podcast. We're back. We're hoping to do bi-weekly episodes for you guys. We're gonna be recommending episodes or animes to you guys to watch. And then you're able to kind of keep up with us with the conversation that we do every other week. So right now we have our first episode today, well, returning episode 4. And then we're going to be moving forward to March 31st. Same time, everything like that, but hi and welcome.
Welcome.
So moving forward, we're going to start with talking about our most recently watched episodes. So Sugar, if you want to go.
I think I watched Dr. Stones and Hunter x Hunter.
Nice.
What about you?
So I have quite the long list because it's been literally a year. The most one that I would like to kind of comment on that I've enjoyed the most would actually be like, I guess like, I don't know if My Hero counts, but
I think it does.
because it's still continuing. You know, Ruby, we got Sword Art going on, we got Darwin's Game, which I'd like to talk about moving forward into the podcast, all these kind of things, but you know, do you want to elaborate on your?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll start with Dr. Stone because I watched it before Hunter x Hunter. I'm still watching Hunter x Hunter. It's still like
It's one of those. It's one of those. It's quite long.
Yeah, it is long, and I mean, I'm a bit late, but it was on Netflix. So I'm like, let's go. Dr. Stone. Okay, I personally loved Dr. Stone. It gave me like a Minecraft vibe.
I was gonna say like it's either like Minecraft or like Rust.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a bit of like both like survival, starting from scratch, and like how could I say that? Like Minecraft, how you start with like clay, something else. That's the vibe it gave me.
Well, definitely kind of like evolves throughout the episodes, and like just like I love his like thought process, but I don't know, I couldn't really get into it. I think it was just because like I felt like I was just like watching a streamer play Rust, you know?
I mean, I didn't like it for the story. I liked it because I was like, oh my god, I know this. I know this is from Minecraft. Oh my god, I know.
You were
like,
breaking it down.
I know what this means. Like when they go in the river and they're like they pick up clay to make glass, and I was like, holy shit. That's Minecraft.
That's literally Minecraft.
That's Minecraft.
Yeah, did you end up finishing Dr. Stone?
No, because when I was watching it, it was still updating. But yeah, I was sick back then, so I kind of like binge watched everything that was up to date, and it was still updating, so I kind of like stopped watching it. And then I was addicted, and then I was like, fuck, there's no more episodes. So I kind of stopped. So I'm not up to date at all, like months behind. I don't even know, is the first season done?
I think so. I think they have like 26 episodes, but also Maddie, yeah, I think you're right. I think I do need to change that. That's not bad. Yeah, Dr. Stone, like I really liked the advertising that they had going for the anime. Like they had like the making of, and they had all these kind of things going on to like promote it, and I really liked how they promoted Dr. Stone in terms of like the creation of it, because I live for that stuff. I always want to see how like animes are created and like, you know, the process of everything. So I really enjoyed that, but I don't know, I just like I felt bad because I couldn't get into the anime. Like, I felt like it was very... It's kind of like how I felt about Fire Force, where, like, I felt like it was a little sporadic. Like, I felt like the main character was just constantly, like, moving from thing to thing to thing. And I was kind of like, but, like... I guess, like, they can't really do much with Dr. Stone considering their situation of, like, you know, it's 3,000 years in the future and they literally have nothing and everybody's turned to stone.
I mean, I feel like the whole thing about him waking up, like, counting, I don't know, it's a bit, to me, that part is a bit far-fetched. I like the whole, like, science thing about, like, there's an explanation for why are people turned to stone.
Yeah.
But the fact that they got out because he was counting and he kept, like, his mind, I don't know about that. And I hate the eyes of the girls. I have to say that. I hate the eyes of the girls. Why do the guys look so good, so badass? So, like, the eyes are nice. And then girls is like...
The art's a little... Like,
but the art is fine, but it's just the eyes. Literally, the eyes bothers me.
For sure. So you were mentioning that you're watching a lot of Hunter x Hunter right now. Do you want to elaborate on that? How far are you into it? Okay. Hunter x
Hunter was recommended to me by my boyfriend's friend who doesn't really watch anime, okay? And he's like, watch Hunter x Hunter, it's so good! And I'm like, yo, I've watched so many anime, okay? Hunter x Hunter looks like shit. That was my first thought. I looked at the pictures and I was like, it doesn't look for me. But
I'll be honest, it does look very cartoonish to me. Like, it gives me like a One Piece vibe.
But it looked very childish.
Yeah.
And never judge a book by its appearance. And that's a very good example of it, because it turns, like, dark.
Yeah.
It turns weird. There's murder.
We're murdering people here.
There's killing. There's an assassin. I know I put too much emphasis on ass, but whatever. Okay. So, I see that the anime is like top 10 on Crunchyroll. Not Crunchyroll, but like my anime list. And I'm like, okay, it has to be good somehow.
Yeah.
It has to be like a minimum good, you know.
It has to be at least like above the 6, you know.
Like watchable. Yeah, exactly. And you know, I've watched a lot of genre of anime. It's probably watchable. So, and you know, it's my boyfriend's friend. My boyfriend doesn't really. I don't know, so boyfriend. He doesn't really watch a lot of anime. He's watched a few. I try recommending it, but he's a big like watcher.
Mm-hmm.
But his friend kept saying like, watch Hunter x Hunter, watch it. You're gonna love it. My boyfriend loved Fairy Tail and 7 Deadly Sins. So it fits in the genre.
It's kind of in the same genre for sure.
So we start watching on Netflix. And we binge watched it in like...
Wait, so are you done Hunter x Hunter then?
No, because Netflix is so stupid. Can't put the whole fucking seasons on it. It has to put
That is a mood, because that's how I started Fairy Tail, and they don't have everything on Netflix.
And it's the same with fucking Naruto. But it's like, and Inuyasha, they put half of it. Half of it is on Netflix, and then you have to like find it somewhere else. What is wrong with you? So yeah, that's a big mood. That's really that. Come on, Netflix, get good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we binge watch everything that was on Netflix, and we're like, oh my god. But like, I have a few irks about it. Like that's like, you know. But overall, it's really good, and it definitely fits. And it's got its edge, like kind of edgy, like murderous side.
It has a little bit more like the PG content, basically.
Yeah, but there's some characters that are very, very weirdly like horny towards the children, and that makes me uncomfortable. There's like 2 of them. I can like Hisoka. Okay, if you watched Hunter x Hunter, okay, Hisoka is like badass. Okay, he's really strong and shit, and I love the character. But he makes me really uncomfortable when he starts moaning.
Ooh, no, stay back,
don't mention it.
Yeah.
like if you've watched it, you'll know. Okay, you'll know.
You will know the situation we're talking about.
You know what kind of moanings I'm talking. It's so like.
What a time to bring back the podcast. You know. Thank you so much for the blues.
And there's another like new character where I'm at right now. It's a girl, and she's like those fucking kids like Gon and Killua are like 12. Okay, you're not supposed to get horny or like moaning when the child says like I don't remember what he said. I just remember the girl moan, and I was. Then it's like they're 12. What are you doing? Hisoka's worse, but like, come on. Well, so
other than the uncomfortable content, it's good, I'm guessing.
Yeah, overall it's really good. There's a few things like there's a recurring pattern about. It's always like every new arc they get how can I say that? Every new arc they it's always the same thing. Okay? They arrive. The enemy is like abusively strong. Okay, it's just like he should have died. Okay, he doesn't die obviously. And then Gon is always like, let's go, we're so good, we're so happy, we'll get stronger. Like always like that. And then they just train. Literally, they get smacked in the face so hard, they get wrecked. Okay, and then they go back. Like aside, they train for like days, and then suddenly they overpower the enemy. Like out of nowhere, after training for like 3 days,
Oof.
They beat the shit out of the enemy.
It sounds like that's kind of like the recurring thing, though. They've had lots of animes that kind of do that, where it's like the main character will just get smashed by the antagonist, and then it's like they're almost dead.
It is a thing, but that's literally what it's been happening. The arc starts, they encounter an enemy, they get smacked. They don't get killed, they just get smacked really hard to realize that the enemy is much stronger. They step aside, they hide or whatever, like something like that. They train, and then they're like stronger than the enemy. And then everything's happy. Like there's like a conclusion. The arc ends. A new arc starts. Same shit. like
same shit. Well,
and
I mean,
like some senseless things, but like
I feel like Hunter x Hunter is kind of that like one of the. We've talked about this before in previous episodes of our podcast, that there's definitely like the gateway anime, and I feel like anime like that and anime like, you know, Fairy Tail or One Piece, where like every arc is about this character that gets like meets an antagonist, gets smacked, they go back, they train, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna have some big, you know, elaborate flashy fight, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely like that. I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
It's like that, and it's just, I wish it was varied a bit, but it's a thing in anime.
For sure. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just definitely that like gateway anime kind of.
There's nothing wrong with it until you reach like 200 episodes, and it's the 5th time you see this kind of shit. Yeah,
then it gets a little bit repetitive for sure.
I just think like, why won't they train harder for like months and then get really, really strong and overpower everyone? Like there's like a sort of like non-logic here about how they meet someone and then they train, they get good, but instead of keeping training, like after the arc is done, logically, if I was them, I would just train. Yeah. Train. But then they stop training. They just stop. They don't even train in between the scenes, or like
they just like eat some ramen and call it a day, you know?
Exactly. They just stop until they hit a wall and they have to train again. That's just a weird logic. It bothers me a bit. Yeah.
Well, moving on to like one of the animes that I've watched, it's definitely a lot more like 18 plus. One of them that I wanted to talk about that I don't know if I want to I don't know if I classify it as an anime, but I noticed that Zezbeth made a comment in chat about Castlevania. I don't know if you've been watching that on Netflix.
I watched the first 3 episodes. There was like 4 of them.
It's incredible. So I finished season 3 yesterday, And it's such an interesting and unique anime to me, and they have different elements from like other animes that like you can incorporate. So like I don't know if you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but like firebending,
long ago.
I find that one of the like the female characters, she's a mage and she fights very like it's very similar to benders, and I'm always like fascinated by the animation of Castlevania and the choreographs of these fights, and they're so like they're crazy to me, like just the art for it and just how they're like doing everything, and it's just so crazy and it's so dark. And if you really like Diablo, for example, I really think that you would enjoy this anime because of how dark and like how many elements that they have relating to it.
I started watching it on Netflix when there was like 3-4 episodes, and I binge watched it. I don't remember what happened because my memory is like
well, it's definitely really evolving, and it's building, and there's times where like the previous season is so like you don't know where it's going half the time. Like you think people are gonna die, you think people are gonna get like murdered, or they're gonna like just like snap or something, and it's like it's so unpredictable, and it's something that I really enjoy about this series. And it's like I love the gothic theme to it. It's just like the plot twist that they incorporate as well. Like I don't want to spoil the recent season because it's definitely like it's more new, so I'm gonna refrain from moving forward with that. But I do really like the character development for like every character in this. Like they have like their main trio of Alucard, Trevor, and Sypha, I think her name is. I don't really know how to pronounce it properly. But it's just like the art is so unique to me as well. Like it's not like your typical like anime style, like big eyes and colorful things everywhere. It's definitely it definitely kind of like verges on that topic we mentioned before of, is it cartoon? Is it just an animation, or is it anime?
Yeah, it does have like a particular style. I think it's edgy. It's very I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't feel fluffy like anime.
It's very like dark fantasy. I would say it's dark fantasy mixed with like gothic themes, but it's obviously based off like the franchise Castlevania, and like there's games for it and stuff. But I definitely feel like another game that you could combine would be like Diablo, because of like all these like demons running around and stuff like that, and it's so good. I was like screaming yesterday, like it was crazy. However, a little disclaimer, it does get like I've noticed like as the seasons progress, it's definitely growing to a more mature level of rating for viewing. Okay. So it's something that like watch at your discretion, like what makes you comfortable. And
okay, that kind of
well, there's definitely some saucy scenes with like there's no filter.
That's
some good shit. Writes it down.
At least they're not 12.
Yeah, that is the main point. But Castlevania's been amazing. Another anime that I've kind of been like on and off with for a while is Fire Force. I still haven't finished it yet, but I have like a love-hate relationship with it. I don't know if you've been watching it recently, or at all, but it's the one with like the firefighters that like fight like these creatures that burst into flames.
Oh my god! Okay, wait, no, I didn't watch it. I've seen like people talk about it, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, so I have a very big love-hate relationship for this anime. I find that they changed they're on like one path. They're like on path 1, and then like moving forward they continue, and then they're like, okay, well, let's go into path like 3, and then we're gonna backtrack, go to path 2, maybe hit path 1 a little bit, and then we're gonna veer off to path 7, and you're like, whoa, what? Where is this coming from? So but the art is really well done, and like there's definitely a lot of beautiful like cinematography done in this anime that I really enjoyed, but I still haven't finished it because I keep losing track. Like I don't even know how to describe like what the story is about, other than there are individuals who are bursting into flames, and Fire Force are like these individual like fire stations of people that fight these creatures. And that's like the basic thing that I know that's like a solid plot line. Other than that, I don't know what's going on. But the art's really good. Like, I really like the art, and I'm very, like, it's something that kind of reminds me of Soul Eater, because I believe it's by the same studio. Soul Eater is really good. Yeah, I know, EG, but, like, I know that there's more than that, but it's hard to follow sometimes because, like, it seems almost like every other episode they're changing their track of, like, where they're going. And I know eventually it'll all end up on the same, but, like, my poor little brain cannot keep up half the time. So I mean, like, Fire Force is good, but I just find that the plot line is very sporadic and all over the place for me, and I'm like,
Sounds like the kind of anime you watch and then you rewatch.
Yeah, exactly.
To make sense out of it.
But moving forward, we're gonna take this time to discuss the one big anime that we both watched that has finally ended. And that is Fairy Tail.
Finally? What do you mean finally? Like,
well, I like not like finally, but I mean just like it's there. We're finished, you know?
Are we?
It's
like,
well.
Are we?
First, okay, let's first talk about like the last season of Fairy Tail and our thoughts on that. So if you want to indulge the viewers, your thoughts.
Okay. Should you start about it because you watched it?
Okay.
I need to refresh.
Okay, perfect.
Like, so long ago.
So I'm gonna say, like, warning right now, spoilers. If you guys don't want to know the spoilers of the end of Fairy Tail, definitely maybe mute us for a little bit. But just to kind of quickly mention, the last season was definitely a massive fight that went on for so long. Like, it was like 25 episodes of essentially the same fight. And it was basically between, like, Natsu and his brother, Zareth, and then Acnologia. So there was, like, a trio fight going on. And there was a lot of scenes where I wasn't expecting Fairy Tail to go as dark as they did, like, with some of the deaths that they incorporated. Because Fairy Tail is never, like, the type of show to really have death.
I think it was like one death way before with like in the tower with Zareth and Urza. Like, Urza's friend dies during that fight, and that's kind of the only death I remember.
That's the only kind of death that I can remember as well. But I mean, like, you know, with the last season, they definitely went a little bit further in terms of, like, taking away from that, like, gateway anime.
They had to make it big. They had to make it like
but I mean, like, the last season was definitely them fighting the final boss for such a long time. And there was, like, it's not like, I don't want to say like it was just like one antagonist, because there was definitely like other individuals who are part of the same fight, but it was definitely like a big war that lasted for like 25 episodes. And there was a lot of like interconnected plot lines that were happening, in like little side plot lines that were happening within the same thing, that it definitely, like, they definitely left a lot of unanswered questions, and they incorporated new questions of like, well, what's gonna happen here? For example, like, you know, Lucy losing Aquarius. Sorry for the spoiler. She ended up losing like a key, and then she has to go like on her 100-year quest to get Aquarius back. So with the 100-year quest being mentioned, that is still a thing, and they've been doing the manga for that for a while now, and like kind of like continuing the storyline of Fairy Tail, but there's no anime right now. So there's definitely like speculation of whether or not we're going to be seeing an anime for that. I feel
like I wouldn't be surprised with how they pulled out Boruto from Naruto. Like, I know like, I feel like it's very possible they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like, it's Fairy Tail. Maybe they're gonna make a jump in years. I don't know. I haven't read after.
So basically, like, the 100-year quest like happens like almost instantly, because the end of the last season, it's them leaving. So like they're all wearing their like OG outfits. And
we just went again.
We're just making a McDonald's run. It's cool. We're not going anywhere. But like they're leaving, and so like I don't know if we're gonna see an anime for that. It would be really interesting to see, but it's definitely like a bittersweet kind of goodbye with Fairy Tail for me. Like I ended up binge reading like 300 chapters, and then like, or at least like how, I don't even know how many chapters it is, up until the point where it starts for the last season. And I binged reading everything. Like I was like 50 chapters a night kind of thing.
Like what's her name? The one with the cute glasses.
Oh my god, Levy.
Yes, Levy.
Yes.
Like how she just.
Levy's so precious. Yes. I would definitely like. I really enjoyed it. I think because I read the manga so fast and I ended up like finishing the season, I definitely got to the point where I felt like I don't want to say relieved, because I like obviously like I like Fairy Tail, but it was just so much Fairy Tail for me. Whereas like other people, like they've been like watching it maybe weekly or like throughout the years they've been keeping up with Fairy Tail. They didn't read 300 plus chapters or however many it is in like a span of a couple weeks. So for me it was like I enjoy the characters and I really appreciated like the series, but I don't think I got the same emotion that other people did.
I remember like absolutely loving Fairy Tail and like binge watching. Like when I found this anime existed, I was like, I'm watching it. And I think it's because I'm in a more PG kind of player, okay? And I always love like summoner class, okay?
Yeah.
And when I found out Lucy could basically summon stuff, I was like, holy shit, I'm watching this shit. Like, that's the first thing that got to me was Lucy with her keys. I was like, holy shit, that's so cool. And I was so disappointed because like
she doesn't get good till like how many seasons later though? Or
shit.
episodes.
Even at the end, she's shit. It took her breaking her key to do something OP. That's not good. That's like.
Well, I mean, there's other times that she's like summoned things. Like she summoned like that god. Well, I don't know. He's like the king or something like that. Well, and she like brought him in.
She summoned the king by breaking.
No, like
that's
I thought.
After? I'm so confused.
Is it after? I can't even remember. Who's Lucy? She's the blonde chick in Fairy Tail.
Yeah, but like, there's one thing that was gonna be. It's the like this planet thing. You know when she used.
Yeah, and then she got like, then it was like shut down, and I think that was supposed to be like the most OP thing.
Again, I think it's like. I feel like she was a bit useless. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Lucy right now. I mean, like, for me, though, the one thing that I did like about Lucy's growth is her ability to incorporate, like, fighting styles along, like, rather than just letting her, like, you know, summons do it for her.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she did get, like, saved very often by her cloak thing.
Yeah, like, she definitely was kind of, like, the damsel in distress, but I did like that she started to evolve and, like, learn to fight on her own. And, like, she did a lot of stuff on her own that I was really, like, yeah, you go, girl, like, you get it kind of thing, right? And it was more so, like, I don't know, it's kind of, like, another, like, kind of, like, one that I could relate to would be Armin from Attack on Titan. Like, he was mainly, like, the brains of it and, like, would, like, solve everything. Like, he wasn't, like, the biggest fighter, but he definitely was, like, the emotional support and, like, brain support of their trio. And I kind of felt like Lucy was also that. Like, she wasn't necessarily always fighting and, like, kind of, you know, doing, like, these massive things like Natsu did or, like, Urza did or something. But,
yeah, but the thing is, like, the whole, like, important squad of the guild were also OP. Like, Gray was OP, Natsu is OP, Urza is OP.
Yeah, but you have to also think about, like, other characters like Levy, for example. Like, Levy's a part of the guild, but she was just like, I'm just gonna write stuff.
Yeah, but that's, like, the whole, like, her power is based on, you know, writing stuff, so I can get it. And but I don't consider her, like, the main squad.
Yeah, I mean, like, Bar made a point too, though, is like the main squad of, like, Gray, Natsu, Urza, like, they were, like, the bulk and, like, the brute of their group, and then Lucy was able to, like, bring people together and, like, keep people together and, like, be that, like, voice for them. So that, like, I mean, she did have, like, other elements that she was able to incorporate with her part in the group, and so I definitely did appreciate that. I didn't really care for her at the start of the anime though. It took me a while to, I think it was like during the Magic Games that I actually started to appreciate her ability to take the step forward and try. Cause like it kind of reminds me as well as like Uraraka from My Hero when she went up against Bakugo. Like that was a major step for her.
Uraraka, at least she doesn't like whine.
Yeah, it was the whining part. Like Lucy kind of stopped doing that throughout the series though. Like around the end I didn't really see her whining too much. It was more so that like she was just scared, and like it's just human emotion of her, the fact that like she's losing her friends and she doesn't want to see them die. So like I could understand like that. Like I don't even know if I call it whining, but the very start of the series she gave off like a Misty vibe where she was always like, oh my god, like like Natsu.
People compared her a lot with Sakura in Naruto, like at the beginning. Like Sakura gets like really strong later on, but I don't know, maybe it's because I loved at the beginning. I felt like let down by her power progress, and she wanted to collect all the keys, and I don't think she has all.
She had most of them, but then she borrowed 2 from the other person. I know she borrowed some.
Yeah, I think she was missing 2 of them, which
the borrowed ones from that the girl who wears like the goose dress or something, like the bird dress.
Yeah.
Can't even remember her name.
It's just weird because you know that the anime starts with her and Natsu, and she doesn't. Natsu's always saving her the whole time, and I was hoping for a moment where she's the one, like.
I mean, technically, she also did at the end, but it was everybody's contribution when she like did the summoning thing around the end of the season. So like she does, but like I do understand what you're saying. Like she definitely never. I don't know if she necessarily saved Natsu too much, other than like the book, when she like rewrote the book of End. Yeah. Even though she almost died. But I don't know. Like Lucy's progression was definitely something that was like a rocky road.
And they made a lot of like emphasis on her mom and past and her family, and I was expecting something big. I was like, they're making her so important with the whole story thing. I was expecting some like unknown power to show up at some point. Like,
well, that's the thing is like I was kind of hoping for her to use like that big planet one again, because like she never got to actually do it, and then like she just never brings it up again. And to me, like that really sucked because I was like. I remember because I actually didn't see that scene in the anime. I read it. So reading it, like I was like Sonic. Like I was like going through. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like I gotta see it. And then it's just like it's like what, mom? Like I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but in the anime, it's good. There's like it gave me shiver. That scene gave me shiver, and it's so sad how she doesn't get to make it. But like I had shiver. I rewatched it, like just the clip. Because I love this scene, and it's true. It's sad. She doesn't do it.
Yukino, yes. Sorry. Bar just said that her name's Yukino, and that yes.
Oh okay. Yeah. Exactly. And I feel like that's a character progression. Like maybe she got like very important emotionally with the guild and everything, but her power progress kind of just.
I think it wasn't like okay. I don't know, like you're right, like her power progression definitely didn't go that far. I would say her confidence progression went far, and like her ability to make decisions on her own rather than like having Natsu come save her all the time. Like she's like, no, I can do this by myself. So, I mean, that's the one thing that I was kind of glad with, because like I really hate those characters that are like Lucy was at the start. That's like, oh my god, like. Don't leave me alone. Like, I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah.
It wasn't great.
I get it. And I know I was able to look past that because I love the whole summoning key thing. I was like, I want that power.
I know, and like I think you can actually buy her keys like as like a
you can
like merch, which would be really cool to have, because like I was always like that's something that I really enjoyed about Lucy's power was the fact that they were all like astral signs. And I've always loved like the astrology and like all those kinds of things, and I'm like, that's so cool, like that there's like, you know, Virgo and Taurus and Gemini, and like I really liked their designs for them.
Every time a new one would show up, I'd be like, oh my god, that's like, I know this. oh my god, oh, this is the one, and it would make me excited, and yeah, I just But overall, like, Fairy Tail is good. I try to make my boyfriend watch it, but he finds it too like childish at the beginning, which I get. It's true. The beginning of Fairy Tail is very like slow and childish. I find it's like it's a type, and I personally don't hate it, but I can get why some people would want a more like serious-ish like thing. Like, so it's very like it's deep. Naruto is deep, you know, and it comes really fast, like really. I don't know. It's a different thing.
I mean, like with Naruto and its vast like storyline, I definitely would say it's hard for me to say that like one is better than the other, but there are definitely more things that I enjoyed about Naruto compared to Fairy Tail.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's a very different vibe, and I get why someone would like Naruto or Seven Innocents and not Fairy Tail. It's different, but it's still good.
Yeah, they definitely have their differences, but yeah. But I will say that Fairy Tail could be like grouped together with that as like something like, if you enjoyed this, I think you would like this kind of thing. But with the creator of Fairy Tail, he also has a new manga out called Eden Zero, and I don't know if any of you guys, it's very quiet right now, but a lot of people are struggling with it. I've been keeping up to date with it. I struggled with it for like 13 chapters, and there's about like I think 80 chapters out now, but the first like 30 chapters they make fun of Fairy Tail and saying like, they're like, well, you know, there's like even like one like block where they're like, you know, we've been compared to like looking like like these other people, and like you can see like Natsu and Lucy in the back of the panel, like in the background, and you're like, oh my god. But they definitely, like, you were mentioning that like, you know, Lucy was like this whiny, you know, weak character, whereas like the new character Rebecca, she's definitely like Lucy. There's like, it's Lucy.
it's her. This
fucking
is a Fairy Tail spin-off, like.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, okay, the best way to describe Eden Zero is like, I feel like it's the Fairy Tail characters like all sitting around a campfire, and they're like, let's tell a story to each other.
Oh my god.
But it's in like the sky, in like space. And like they're just like coming up with these like crazy overdramatic characters that like it almost feels like Natsu and like Lucy and Urza are telling this story. Sounds like a mecha? No, Eden Zero's a ship. Sorry, spoiler. But I mean,
I was like, oh.
But I mean, like with people watching Eden Zero or reading Eden Zero, there's definitely like a building fan base for it, and I think we're going to see a potential anime for it created, which, I mean, it's probably gonna get a lot of hate. Like, it's gonna be like, oh, this is just Fairy Tail, like, with a new skin, like, you know. There's definitely gonna be a lot of hate for that, but
I guess tempted to watch it just to see how similar it is.
Honestly, like if you have a Crunchyroll subscription, you can read the manga online, and like it's really rough because you have Fairy Tail in your head, and especially because the art, like, there's no difference in the art at all, other than the fact that instead of it being like outside and like fantasy element, it's definitely like space. So
oh no, I feel like I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna like, is Fairy Tail my brain?
Yeah, like you're gonna have to like, after that one scene where they're like, well, we've been compared to like other people or like look like other people, and you see Lucy and Natsu in the background, like it's them, and I was like, holy crap. And then like after that scene, I was able to like get past the Fairy Tail thing, but they definitely, like, the creator has definitely created like the same like similar arcs of like, oh, well, there's this like new group that's like taking over and like destroying the main group, and it's like, okay, so this is just very similar to every other arc in Fairy Tail. So
it feels like, I don't know, I find it's a weird thing to make it so similar, because people of course are not gonna be able to unsee Fairy Tail. If it looks like Fairy Tail, it feels like Fairy Tail, and maybe that's actually a bad thing for the person who did it. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna work because people are gonna expect Fairy Tail, and or unless he thought like by doing that he would get all the fan base from Fairy Tail watching that.
Yeah.
But I feel that's wrong.
I think he should have taken time with it, for sure. So I guess we'll see. Like, Eden Zero is definitely on my radar to, like, see where it goes from here. And I mean, like, I would definitely, like, if you enjoy Fairy Tail, like, separate Fairy Tail. But if you're wanting something that's, like, a similar vibe and you want more of that feeling, definitely check out Eden Zero, for sure.
I shall.
So moving forward, we're gonna actually mention, because this is the reboot of Ohayo Waifus, we are in a new decade, and so we're wanting to kind of review the Crunchyroll Awards of the anime that has gone, like, over the past decade, and, like, you know, discuss, like, the winners and stuff like that. So I'm gonna post the link that we will be reviewing in the Twitch chat for you guys to review as well.
Should I do that too?
I can do it for you. I don't know if links are allowed.
I have no idea. Honestly, I'm
gonna send it. But I'm a mod, so it's okay.
Oh, that's true. You bypass everything anyway.
Okay, so looking at this link here, we go to the winners tab, and we're gonna talk about the winner of the year, because there's a lot of controversy around this and a lot of hate around the winner, which is Demon Slayer. I loved this anime. There is no, like, I have no issue with this anime at all. I loved it. I don't have any complaints at all. I think it deserves the award. I don't necessarily know if it's the winner of the decade for, like, overall, but it was fantastic for me. I freaking loved it. The art was so unique to me. The character development was really unique, because something that I really enjoyed about Demon Slayer was it wasn't a romance love. It was a brotherly and sisterly love of, like, family. And that's something that I really loved about this anime. And the other thing too is, like, the other characters were, like, so unique, and, like, the designs of the enemies were so good. And I was like, yo, this is fantastic. Nezuko's overrated for me. Nezuko is definitely gonna have, like, she's definitely evolving, but you have to understand, like, I can't really see much from her because she is a victim in a way where she is dealing with something and trying to keep her humanity. So, like, she's kind of just, like, dealing with her own, like, personal struggles, and she's just kind of there most of the time. So I don't necessarily, like, consider her to be overrated or underrated. I just think she's just there.
I feel like for sure she got really popular because she's cute as shit.
Like, she definitely has those, like, really cute, like, cutesy moments that are like, oh my god, I love you, you're my queen.
Yeah, but I haven't seen people being like, oh my god, Nezuko is, like, so strong, so good, best. Like, only thing I've seen is people mentioning best girl because she's so cute and, like she's trying her best to stay human, kind of. But I don't think she's considered, like, I wouldn't think of her, like, overrated or underrated. I think she's exactly just there. She's of course she's gonna be, like, really popular because she's cute. Duh, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Anime waifu. What do you mean, Ohayo?
Ohayo, bitches, we're here.
But yeah, I think that's why you think she's overrated, because she's really popular. But
I think, like, another comment would be, like, she's overrated because of, like, the simplicity of her popularity.
Yeah, but I mean, for me it's a normal thing when there's a new anime and a in it. It's normal for it to explode. But, like, it's not oh, she's so strong or she's so cool. It's just she's a waifu, and that's that.
Well, okay, it's weird though, because, like, with that comment of waifu, I don't know if I actually consider her a waifu, because, like, technically, like, waifus, like, aren't they, like, something that you're like, you're attracted to? You're like, oh my god, like, you're a queen, like, I love you, and, like, be my girlfriend kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna have a body pillow of you. I don't know if, like, I want that for Nezuko, because, like, she has that purity and, like, that innocence to her that I'm like, can you be like, I don't know how to call it.
I just think it depends on the people, because, like, for me personally, a waifu is just, like, a character I'm gonna worship, but not necessarily that I want to bang or something. Just, like,
I'm not into banging, but
like, it's just a character I really love. It's my wife,
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm straight, like a husbando, usually I'm going like, oh.
Yeah, okay, well, like, you know what it is with Shoto, so you know.
But I feel like for me, a waifu is like, I'm gonna cosplay her. Like, that's how I feel. Like, that I want to cosplay her. That's my waifu style. She's cute. She's like cool, I guess. But she's a, for me, that's a waifu. Like, I'm gonna have a print of her. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on people. If somebody comes up, yeah, she's my waifu. Yikes.
Yikes. But I mean, like, Dagon does make a point in saying that, like, she technically, like, is, like, really young. Which is another, like, the innocence and purity comes from. So, like, I really get weird when I see, like, sexualized, like, fan art of her. And don't get me wrong, like, the art's really well done, but I'm also like, no, stop that.
And I think what doesn't help is that they keep making her, like, really chibi and small and cute and, like, childlike, and she's really adorable, and you know she's gonna grow up to be adorable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But she's definitely underage. That's for sure. But at the same time, anime is so weird. You're gonna have a character that looks like, okay, maybe her. Like, we're not gonna take her as an example because she doesn't even look like she has like tits or anything. She's just really like 14, like 12. Not 14 because 14s these days have like whatever. But like maybe like 12. You know, she's like not developed yet, and you can tell like she's really a child. Like, don't try with your shit. Don't you dare. But some character girl, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, she's like 14, but they make her develop like she's like,
yeah, they definitely like they 18, definitely make 20. Her grow up. Yeah. So I'm like,
but like that's not the case right
now. Yeah. But overall, I will say for like 2019, anime of the year for sure. I think like looking at the nominees, like they have Mob Psycho, they have The Promised Neverland, which The Promised Neverland was something that was on my radar that I wanted to watch, but I just never got around to it. Some of these I haven't even heard of though, like Zero Maidens in Your Savage Season. I've never heard of you. Like, what are you? Go away.
Yeah, I've never seen of that. How is it? Is that even like, I'm on Facebook often. I see like I follow like anime page. I've never. Like, I've seen Mob Psycho, yeah. I haven't even seen the other one. Maybe The Promised Neverland. I think maybe I saw that one. But like Carol and Tuesdays.
I don't even know what that is either. But Bar also brought up. Yeah. Just seeing chat quickly. Bar is mentioning like the whole comment of like, is Pokemon a cartoon or anime? And like we had a previous episode where we'd spent like a half an hour comparing it, like the same, like watch episode 3 and it's really funny and it's about chocolate croissants. There's definitely differences, but I mean, yeah. Okay.
It was the same sauce, okay?
Alright, so we're gonna move down to the best protagonist of being Senku from Dr. Stone. Best protagonist? I don't know about that.
What are the nominees? Out of the 6, okay, I don't know who am I. I don't know who Hyakimaru is, okay?
I don't think Saitama from One Punch season 2. I don't think that Saitama was great in second season. Second season of One Punch Man was actually like kind of like a letdown for me.
I haven't watched it. I've only seen.
It's not great. It's not a great time. Tanjiro, on the other hand, I really liked his development. And I liked that, like, even though he just got like smacked really hard, like broke his arm and like maybe a collarbone or like a rib, like he took the time to like actually like it was like, to me it was human that like I need to rest because I broke my fucking bones. Whereas like there's other anime there that like they get smashed into a mountain, the mountain crumbles around them, and then they're like, let me get up, like
get good.
Shut up, like shut your mouth, that's not happening. Whereas like Tanjiro to me was like the most human character I've seen in 2019 for like an anime that's like this style where they're fighting these creatures and stuff like that. Cause like he was very like even in the first episode when he's trying to save Nezuko, like, to me, he was just like doing what he could, and he realizes that like he has the smarts for it, but then he evolves from that and like starts training and like how to like adapt to certain situations. And I was like, I really like you. You definitely have that like motivation, but you also have that humanity to you that doesn't make you like this overpowered, crazy, you know, character like Natsu, for example, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like he actually got like a development. If you compare to Senku,
Senku, yeah.
Dr. Stone, if like Dr. Stone, just like the anime starts, he's smart, he's confident, that's how it starts, that's how it stays. There's no, because he started developed already, like good, you know?
Yeah.
And yes, he's really smart. The anime is enjoyable and everything. I liked it. You know, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying there was no character development.
With Senku?
Could I make him with, yeah.
Yeah, it was mainly like him just like showing off his brains.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh yeah,
yeah, oh yeah, I'm smart. Like, what of it?
Exactly, and that's literally how you And there is no like yeah, there's friendship, I guess, but you don't see him. Like, I think for him would be maybe like perhaps figure out like love or something. Like,
yeah, like the more like humanity side of things, because it felt like he was very like technical and like science based around everything. And I know that that's like what the anime is and like what he like who he is as a person, but I think like if we were going to talk about like development of a character, I didn't really see a lot of it with him. So I don't know if I necessarily consider him to be like the best protagonist.
Exactly. That's kind of
right
thing. Like, the anime is good, really good, but for me, there was no development. I can't consider him this year like the best protagonist. And I feel like, I don't know the other two, Saitama apparently it was not great. And for Fruit Basket, I'm sorry, but that's like it doesn't count.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, I love the old Fruit Basket. I've watched the old one, the new one. I haven't watched the new one, but for me, it doesn't count. That was an anime. Like, well, maybe it's like when did it come out? Fruit Basket, the first one. I'm not even sure. Maybe
it was a while ago. Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. I don't even think it's that great. I don't even think she.
I don't think she should be on the list. Like, there's definitely other characters that I think should be on the list, but that's just personal opinion. So we're gonna take one more look at the list because there is quite a few, like, looking down this list of winners. So we're just gonna talk about the best antagonist.
Who the fuck's that?
So it's the villain, essentially.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, like, who's that character?
So that character is from The Promised Neverland. I didn't watch that one too much. Out of this list, I honestly want to say, like, for me, I really enjoyed Overhaul from My Hero. Like, Overhaul was a maniac. He was a psychopath.
Did I watch season 4? I don't even remember. Perhaps. But it's the only anime I've watched out of this whole thing, so I can't judge on that one.
Okay. So no with me, like, the other ones, like, I've never heard of I from Babylon. Angela, I still don't. What is this Carol and Tuesday? I feel like maybe we should change one of our like recommended animes at the end of this podcast to like something that like we don't know what this is, like Vinland or Carol and Tuesday.
I feel like it's a very it looks very musical anime. The other pic of it, the other thumbnail of it was sing guitar.
You would rate Overhaul over All for One. Yeah. All for One in My Hero definitely has a bit of a lackluster in terms of what he's doing. I feel like he's just like a puppet master, if anything. And not even that. He's just like basically like what all villains look up to, and they're like, okay, well, I want to make him proud, so I'm gonna go do messed up stuff. But the antagonist, I find like this list is a little bit like, I feel like they could have taken like a season, like maybe like Zareth from the last season of Fairy Tail, or even like Acnologia, like. But I don't know if that, like, Acnologia wasn't even like that big of a character for me. Like, I felt like he wasn't
even that much of a antagonist in my opinion.
He just kind of showed up and was about to like destroy the world, and they're like, well, don't do that, and it's like, okay, that's done.
Yeah, they took a small part to explain him and shit, but it's not like he's not really always back. Like Zeref, he's like everywhere. Like
that's the thing is, but like Zeref
like,
definitely had his spotlight well shown in Fairy Tail, and I feel like he should be more like he should be on the list of protagonists. And like, cause they're saying here like One Punch Man like season 2 or like Overhaul like season 4. Like I understand that Zeref was like throughout the entire series, but well, like not really, but like the previous like episodes are arcs. But I mean, like they never really did anything with Zeref until the last season. So I feel like he could be a contender on that list, and I feel like he could have won. But
yeah, I mean, like when you watch a recap, which I did yesterday, you like Zeref is behind a lot of the bad arcs, like the bad people. He's actually like a mind behind a lot of this compared to Aknologia. You know he's bad, you know he's powerful, you know like, but it's more like history stuff, and then he shows up, he disappears, we don't see him for like fucking forever, and then he shows up, and then it's weird. I wouldn't consider him the biggest bad person in Fairy Tail because he's just like you know he's there, but he doesn't do shit, kind of. He's like he shows up at the end, like you know he's been there so bad because like Zeref was throughout the whole thing. Zeref was like manipulating people, trying to do things, like trying to
yeah, I definitely find that the contenders for this villain list is a little bit but I do like Overhaul, so Overhaul definitely is cool, but I think that Overhaul could have won. Zeref wasn't 100% bad. So with that comment, I find that there's that whole like controversy of like, well, what is good and what is evil, whereas like to us, we think that Zeref is bad because like what he's doing, but to Zeref, like he isn't. He's just like, it's like I just want to die, like.
Yeah, but when you think about like, if you're thinking like that, you psychopath or like a serial killer.
Yeah,
for
but to
them,
Zeref though, like,
okay.
yeah, that's the thing is like there's a whole conversation of like, well, what's good and what's evil, right? So okay, we're gonna move on to the next big question for both of us, and we're gonna start with Sugar. Of what would you rate for your top 10 anime of the decade?
The decade. We said top 10, and I was like, how am
we
I
can
gonna
say like
put
we can say that it's not in order. So there's not.
Okay, it's not gonna be in order because I'm not prepared.
But you have to put your list.
Yes. Okay. So for sure, there's like Demon Slayer. Like, how can I not put this in my list? It's just so good. I want more.
For sure.
If I like remember a few years back, some anime that really got to me be first of all Angel Beats. It's old, but I think it's still.
I think it's still in the decade though, so I think you're okay.
It's at the beginning decade, but it's really good and it's worth watching for sure. There's the whole Fate Zero franchise, like it's Fate Zero, Fate Stay, whatever. That was really good. I loved how it was. Look at it. It's like about history. It's about stuff we know, like historical people, like what his name? Her name? Saber. Who? Oh my God, I can't remember that. Okay, it's people that existed in real life and they took it in anime.
Like Jeanne d'Arc and stuff like that. Yeah.
Then I have Madoka Magica because that was the kind of anime that shocked me. It did a 180 and I was crazy, so you need to watch it. I'm not gonna spoil. But it starts like really cute and then it turns really like kind of dark, like still sparkly but dark. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think I have Little Witch Academia. Okay, it's underrated.
It's a fantastic anime though.
It's so
and
good.
Like the animation and art is so good. Yeah. I definitely I approve of it.
I binge watched it and it gave me like shivers, like some scenes I was like, oh my god. How many am I at? Like
I have not been keeping track.
5? I think okay. I think I'm at 5.
Yeah, we'll say 5. So 5 more.
Oh my god. I'm trying to remember.
The pressure. Decide.
Okay. My Hero Academia. That's really good. That's really good. Okay. Oh my god. Wait, I'm not gonna talk about My Hero because like we
literally talk about My Hero every time, and you can tell that this is probably one of like the most popular anime that like both of us enjoy.
Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about. They're in the list. Hunter x Hunter is really good. Like I know I complained a bit about it earlier, but it's really good. It's really good.
It's just good.
It's long. It's just yes. Okay, there's some little childish part that bothered me, but it's really good. Okay, that was 7. Number 8. 7 Deadly Sins.
Okay, yeah.
I loved it. I loved 7 Deadly Sins. It's good. Go watch it. Okay, I'm trying to be fast.
No, it's okay. Take your time.
Okay, hold on. I need to Google. I'm just. Oh, it doesn't count. Okay, I was gonna say like Spice and Wolf, but it's 2009, so fuck.
Oh, it doesn't count. Oof.
No, it's like 1 year out of it. Oh my god.
If you want to add it on, we'll say that we'll just add an extra year. It's fine.
Okay. I'll put it. Just go watch it. Like season 2 is 2009. It can't. Okay. So if there was a season 3, it would be 2010. It works. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm at 8 anime out of 10, and
Need 2 more.
I can't
Throw them up there.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, 1. Okay, Igurashi no Nakukoro ni. When the. Oh my god, what's the name in English? It's when the crickets. It's a crickets. It's a type of crickets. Cry. Whatever.
Okay. I've never heard of it though.
It's Oh wait, is that even 2010? I didn't have time. Can you
Google?
Okay, the last OVA that came out is 2011, so it counts.
It counts.
It kind of counts. It's a really weird anime. It's really fucked up. Watch it. If the eyes are weird, forget about it.
You are selling this so well right now. It's fucked up, but watch it.
Like, stop. Like when you look at the anime, don't think about the eyes. Blank that shit out. Like the eyes are annoying. I know the head is like too small for the. Okay, don't think about it. Just watch the anime. It's weird. It's good. It's gonna get you confused. You're gonna like it. Okay, don't forget. And then I'll put Naruto. Does Naruto count?
I would say Naruto counts. I would say like
I'll
it's
put Naruto.
continuously. So
I'll
give you that.
I binge watched it. Like
all right.
Out of it. Like, all of it.
So that's your 10, right? We got your 10 there.
Yep,
I think so. All right, there you have it. Sugar's top 10. My top 10. Obviously, I'm putting My Hero on there. I can't not. I just can't not. Another one for me would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think that's in the decade. I don't know if it is or not. I'm gonna throw it in there because I didn't watch it till like 2012, so I'm considering it. Another one for me would be Konosuba. I loved Konosuba. I thought it was funny. I thought it was quirky. You know, they had their big fights in it, and they were funny. Like, I was constantly laughing, and I really enjoyed that. I'm throwing Demon Slayer up there. It definitely has, like, my genre and vibe to it, so I'm going to throw that up there. One that I didn't expect myself to put on this list would be Ruby. The reason that I'm putting Ruby up there is because of, like, how it's developed throughout the years and where it is today from where it started. And with the original creator, he was like one of like my heroes for animation and like creativity and stuff like that. Monty, like, I love you, man. So I'm really proud of like how the team has developed and continued his show throughout the years. So I'm gonna throw that up there. Another one for me would be Food Wars because it got me into cooking. I loved Food Wars. Like, Shokugeki no Suma is fantastic. It's quirky, it's funny, it's creative. Like, how they incorporate like all these meals and like just put these spins on them. It's like, oh my god, I want to learn how to do that. So I really enjoyed that. Parasite was absolutely crazy for me. Like I loved Parasite. Another one would be Psycho-Pass for myself. No Game No Life, even though we're probably never getting another season, but I loved it. I loved watching the problem solving happen. The art was something that was really cool for me as well because it was so different and like colorful and just vibrant, and I really liked that. And the other one, I actually changed my list to add Castlevania. I'm gonna consider it an anime, just because of like how dark and gothic and just like unpredictable it is. It was so fun to watch. It's just like enjoyable for me in every aspect. So with that being said, that's my top 10 of the decade. Let us know what yours are. Comments below, Twitch chat, whatever you want. But seeing as the time it is now, we're gonna close off. We're gonna give you guys 2 recommendations, one from myself and one from Sugar. So Sugar, if you want to give your recommendation.
Mine was part of my top 10, and it's Little Witch Academia. I'm not kidding. It gave me shivers. Okay, go watch it. Don't you dare think it's too childish to No, it's
definitely not. It's one of the ones that you guys should definitely check out for sure. Myself, I've mentioned it periodically throughout this entire podcast, but Castlevania. I'm sorry, but if you haven't watched it, finish it, especially the most recent season. It's so good. It's just so good. But we want to thank you guys for stopping by today for our return of the Ohayo Waifu podcast. We will be live again March 31st at 10 a.m. EST on both of our channels as well. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys are following both of our channels, as well as this will be posted up on YouTube. So I think you can find the link down in my info panel as well, but we'll be posting the links on our social media as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it and love you guys so much. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yay, bye. How do I turn this shit up? Okay, I'm gonna